Hello, this is Bobby at Copel TV Repair with a video today that will hopefully help some of you avoid wasting time, money, resources trying to repair a dead Sony XBR-65X900E. It was brought to us by a customer who said that they first spoke to Sony and were pretty much ready to get rid of it. And this is how it looks. This is the panel that is on it, and of course your first goal will be to take that panel off. The TV is totally dead, no sign of the front LED, no nothing. And the main suspect in this case of Sony's is oftentimes the main board. So when working on that, I brought another one to see what is going on. And this is already a solved problem, so you may notice something that is unusual while I'm talking, or in a minute, I will bring your attention to it. Because the TV was totally dead, of course, one of the first things to check was the power, and this Sony is with external power module, which is ACDP 24240E02, which is providing 24 volts and can hold 10 amp load on the output. So I tested the output of that, and it was 24. I tested it by sticking a DC voltmeter at the output plugs. However, that comes to a board here via a plug. And this is a very small board that converts the input 24 volts to several smaller voltages and also passes directly the 24 volts probably to either the main or the T-con board for the panel. And it wasn't here. Here there was some really small voltages. To cut the long story short, after a number of tests, it turned out that the cable, which is connectable to the power supply board, to the AC-DC module. The cable that is pluggable here and it's pluggable here, all that lengthy cable, which is capable of carrying 10 amps. Well, I don't know if it is, it should be if the power supply is rated for it. But anyhow, it turned out that the connectors on both ends, both here and here, were pretty burned by arcing, something that I have seen in other TVs in other situations. And the voltage drop was simply happening there. And the connectors were bad both on the main AC-DC unit and on that small board. That thing on Amazon was something like $200 along with the cable. That thing, there was a single board of those on eBay for $75. I did not check what it would be on Encompass, but I would assume it would be something like that. So, to cut the long story short, did the obvious thing, open that. Now, I'm not showing you how to open it, but it's 5 screws here, 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 and one in the middle that is under, right here. And it's pretty tightly done inside. It's not a walk in the park to be able to take out the original connector and solder this. And I'm gonna put silicone here to solder that to get it a little bit better. And this is a solid fixed connection, which is not good. I'm going to put silicone here now as well. But the important thing is it does work. This TV is fully working now. I don't need to show you that it is. And it says the time and the cost. It took me about an hour to take this apart, to get the end of it, remove the connector from here, clean properly, solder properly, do the same thing here. And altogether, in parts alone, this would come to, there was an old power supply board. Here's the problem: if you get an old one on eBay or if you get that board, there's a good chance that they may have the exact same problem. The connector is specific. I'm sure it can be found somewhere, but it is common for manufacturers, especially big OEM manufacturers, Sony, LG, Samsung. Very often they use specific vendors for small things like connectors, and it's a hell of a search to find something universal. They just make them so that they're specifically made for them, whether because there is something that is 2 millimeters longer than what you can find as a standard. It goes for USB ports, it goes for all kind of stuff. Second, replacing here would have been relatively easy, but replacing on that board the connector would have been, well, I mean, there's so many harder things to do. Anyhow, don't throw the TV if you don't assume that this is bad just because you're not getting 24 volts here is, I guess, the core of my point. This can be perfectly good. The problem could be just, like in my case, the connection, and it was bad on both sides. So while there were 24 here, there were not 24 here, and sometimes there were not 24 here at the output. Again, it really depends on how good the contact would be between the plug and the connector. And I have the old ones, and you can see them if you look at the light and they see darkish, kind of like I forgot what kind of blue, cobalt blue light, something like that, very, very dark bluish. They're burned out. And actually on the back side of the board and on the back side of the other one where the positive lead goes, you can also see decent discoloration. Anyhow, it is soldered now. It will be solidified again with a silicone, and it saves time and money altogether. 40 minutes to an hour job to be decent, and you know, it can be ready today at a discount for the customer. Everybody wins. That's it. Best of luck.